Hey guys, welcome back to the Pick Six. We got another video for you. We're doing wide receivers, tight ends, United Football League, giving you our top 10 list. And this one was the most all over the place craziness. Our quarterback was pretty easy for us. Running backs was pretty easy. Wide receiver, we yelling, screaming at each other to figure this one out. So without further ado, Mike, give us our honorable mentions.
All right, we got a lot to get into, so we're just going to jump on it with these guys. At number 14, we had Jordan Sewell with 2 points from the Pick Six panel. He's going to be on the Michigan Panthers this year. Look closely. We had number 13, Dawood Davis with 8 points from the Pick Six panel. He's going to be on the Memphis Showboats. He had that really horrific injury with the Dolphins. Let's hope he comes back looking great like we know he can be. Number 12, we have Darius Shepard. Someone who got a little less love here as opposed to the other St. Louis Battlehawks wide receivers with 1 point from the Pick Six panel. And then coming in at number 11, we had Trey Quinn with 4 points from the Pick Six panel. Mr. Irrelevant. The Michigan Panthers will be happy to have his services. Let's jump on into that list.
The first of 3 guys to finish 10th on this list, because we got a lot of ties to get to this. You're going to love it, guys. Is Isaiah Zuber. He's been on a bunch of practice squads since 2020. Like, he's been all over the NFL, just making practice squads, but not making the final roster. But he really hasn't got many opportunities on the field. He has balled out in the spring league. He was on the Gamblers the last 2 seasons. He even led the league in receptions, TD receptions in 2022. The shaky QB play of Houston has really hurt his overall numbers. Sadly, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, but this dude is a good, bona fide wide receiver in the spring league, and so he makes the list.
Next up is the other guy tied for 10th here with Garrett Mag, coming in with a 9 points from the Pick Six panel as well. He's a former North Dakota Fighting Hawk. He edges into this list with a lot of heavy influence from me here. He had a brief stint on the Vikings and never truly got to show his abilities at the highest level. He's currently a landscape assistant for his alma mater, meaning he stayed close to home and kept grinding for his chance to get some better tape. He's a great slot receiver and played a big part in the Hawks getting into the FCS tournament in his years at the school. I think his skill set translates very well to the UFL landscape, and you will find him hard to get down in space, making him come in at number 10.
The last person in the 3-way tie for 10th craziness is Jonathan Adams. The former Breaker has found a new home in Memphis. He is a showboat. He had 477 yards receiving with the Breakers last season, and he has great hands. And at 6'3", makes him a great safety net and jump ball guy for Case Cookus. I'm super excited to see Case Cookus throwing 50-yard bombs to Jonathan Adams and him going up and snagging it. The dude has made some really good plays. Watch his highlights from college. They are fun on the YouTube.
And now coming in tied for 8th with 12 points on the Pick Six panel is Victor Bolden Jr., the former All-USFL 2022 team player and 2-time Spring League champion, is coming back this year. This is a guy with undeniable talent that will always have a job in the mid-level area of football and has ended up on one of the most stacked rosters in the UFL yet again this year, and it is the perfect year for his 3rd championship. This guy is the Deshaun Jackson of the UFL, and it will be interesting to see how defenses choose to combat his skill set, especially with the loaded Stallions off. You end up putting a lot on Victor Bolden. Look for another Stallion to be getting a lot of heat.
The other person to finish 8th in this tie, and with all these ties, we should have been sponsored by Tie Mart, but we have Amari Rogers, the new Stallion. The former Clemson standout had 1,000 yards receiving as a senior and even got drafted in the 3rd round to the Packers to help Aaron Rodgers. Sadly, his time in the NFL didn't really work out. He really struggled to get anything more than a bottom of the depth chart kind of wide receiver return guy for the Packers and Texans in his kind of 2.5, 3 year, or I guess 2 years in the NFL. After flopping in the NFL, he's looked to turn it around on the Stallions and help them get a 3-peat. Considered how stacked the Stallions are in the skill position room, he might have a chance to light up the league because this guy has talent. and I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Next up, with one of our few guys holding a sole ranking with no tie, we have Sal Cannella coming in with 14 points in the pick six panel. Sal comes into this list at rank number 7. He looks to build on a very impressive campaign from last year where he ended up with over 400 yards receiving, which was second to only Cody Latimer. This, pairing with the fact that he didn't have a stable quarterback into the last few games of the season, has us thinking he is primed and ready for the leading team receiver just like last year. He's a dynamic weapon that can be used as a relief valve as well as running up the seam. His abilities actually earned him a practice squad spot on the Seahawks, and it really looked like he was going to get some NFL time. Lucky enough, we get to see him for one more year at least at this level, so enjoy it while you can, Renegades fans, because he was a big part of y'all's championship run last year.
And before we get back to all the ties, it's time for my favorite part of the video. I want to give a shout out to a fun app called Raid Shadow. I'm just kidding, guys, but I am serious. Please subscribe so we can get to that next level and actually have sponsors on videos. Now, coming in with 15 points and tied, we have another talented wide receiver, which is Marlon Williams. Put up great numbers for the Stallions in 2022 and led the team to a championship. But last year, he sadly got hurt in week 1. And I personally thought that was going to derail the Stallion season. They were able to bounce back and really get the help and support they needed from other people stepping up. But I'm excited to see how he's looking coming back off his injury. And with all the weapons around him, I think it's going to be a fun season for them. And I hope he has that 2022 success.
Next up is his 5th place partner in Justin Hall with 15 points as well. The Ball State extraordinaire is somebody who I think has the chance to be the top ranked wide receiver in the league by next year. He was the bright spot in a middling at best Renegades passing attack and really got the most out of every one of his 47 receptions. He averaged more than 10 yards per reception last year and was able to consistently get behind or get separation. It was just a matter of if the ball would get to him. So he's going to be coming in at 5th in this panel. I have a lot of potential in this guy.
At the 4 spots with 18 points is another Stallion. We're really loving the Birmingham Stallions, so please don't kill us in the chat, other fans. But this guy was a beast tight end, and that is Jace Sternberger. The former Packers tight end was a monster last season in the USFL, as he was the first team all USFL guy and led the league in receiving TDs. He was a mismatch, a nightmare at the spring league level, and will give whoever starts at QB a safe pair of hands. He ended up having 517 receiving yards and 7 TDs last season, so watch out for him.
Next up, we're going to have Cody Latimer with 20 points in the pick 6 panel. He's going to be coming in 3rd place for this list, just like he did in the XFL all-time passing leaders list. We have a 7-year NFL veteran joining the San Antonio Brahmas, and while I don't think the stats will show it unless the Brahmas get a consistent signal caller, this guy has the potential to lead the league in all statistical categories. He has the size and NFL know-how to get advantages on defense, and with both of the leagues combining, we're going to see a lot of strong defense because that was absolutely the strong suit for both leagues. Especially early on, I think experience is going to dictate who's on top, and the Brahmas have some safe hands in Latimer that I think they're going to need to abuse if they're going to get anywhere.
Number 2 is a newcomer to spring football, and it is the former Texan Kiki QT coming in with 27 points. He played 5 seasons in the NFL and almost got 1,000 yards receiving. Had dealt with a lot of injuries early on and really didn't get many opportunities late in his NFL, career. But he does have that next level talent to stick around for 5 seasons, and he is a monster against the Colts. So look out for him. Dude had 2 huge games against the Colts. I think he's going to be a big factor for DC, having to replace a lot of wide receiver production from last year. And I think his NFL experience and skills will help him dominate the league and give Jordan Ta'amu a number 1 wide receiver with some big playability.
And capping off the list at number 1, we had to give credit where it's due to the most proven wide receiver in this list. That, of course, isn't injured. In Hakeem Butler, he got 34 points in the pick 6 panel and was a part of one of the most incredible 1-2 punches we have seen in these 2020 spring leagues with him and Ja'Cour Pearson. He totaled 599 yards and 8 touchdowns last year and will look to continue that dominance in the UFL. His size and bruising play style make him a nuisance to get down, especially in the spring leagues, and he will always have to be game planned around. Time will tell if him being the sole number one will help or hurt him due to the extra attention, but I think he will definitely stand that test.
And that concludes our wide receiver and tight end top 10 list for the United Football League. Let us know in the comments down below. Do you agree with us? Disagree? Who do we leave off the list that should be on the list? Let us know in the comments down below. We are ready for the warfare and all the hate comments from the non-Stallions fans coming our way. But till next time, enjoy other videos on our channel, and we'll hit you soon with the defenders. And I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about the top defensive guys in the league coming next week. Peace.